All right, let's jump right in. We're going to break down a really simple ancient principle that has the power to turn a good organization into a truly extraordinary one. It's called the second mile standard, and it's all about building a culture of, well, strategic excellence. But first, let's start with a big question. I mean, think about it. In a world that is just so competitive, what really makes a company last? I'm not talking about for a year or two. I'm talking for generations. It's a question every leader asks themselves. But the answer? It might not be what you think. And this really frames the whole challenge perfectly. See, most companies, they compete on the usual stuff, right? Price, speed, flashy marketing. And yeah, that can work for a little while. But the companies that endure, the ones that build that deep, lasting trust, they compete on something much, much harder to copy, their character. And that's where we find the real secret to longevity. Now, to really understand this, we have to go back in time, way back. The origin of this whole idea comes from a very specific, kind of tense historical moment. So let's explore the Roman soldier's mile. So, I want you to picture this. It's first century Israel, and it's under Roman occupation. There's this specific law in place. Any Roman soldier could legally force a Jewish civilian to carry his heavy gear for exactly 1 mile. This wasn't a request, it was a command backed by the full power of the empire. It was this constant, humiliating reminder of exactly who was in charge. So after you've hauled this heavy gear for a long, grueling mile, the soldier is fully expecting you to just drop it, right? Maybe mutter something under your breath, turn around and walk away just filled with resentment. The transaction's over, the obligation is met, and that's the end of the story, right? Wrong. This is where a totally radical, counterintuitive idea comes into play. In this exact context of oppression, Jesus teaches, if anyone forces you to go 1 mile, go with them too. Now, this wasn't about being passive or being weak, not at all. It was a profound lesson in power, in mindset, and in leadership. And this brings us right to the core of it all, the power of mile 2. It's all about that incredible shift that happens when you move from just doing what you have to do into the world of personal choice. Think about it like this. The first mile, that belongs to the soldier. It belongs to the law. It's all about submission, obligation. You have to do it. But the second mile, the second mile belongs entirely to you. It's about your identity. It's a conscious choice. It flips the script from I have to I choose to. And that simple shift transforms an act of submission into an incredible act of strength. So the most important point here is that this is not about being a doormat. It's the exact opposite. It is a strategic move. When you willingly go that second mile, you defy expectations so completely that it just disarms the hostility. The soldier expected compliance. He definitely did not expect character. And that is how you start to build real influence. Okay, so cool story. But how does an ancient story about Roman soldiers actually apply to a modern business today? Well, it's the difference between building simple transactions and building real, lasting trust. The first mile. That's your baseline. It's what you get paid to do. Finishing the job, fixing the leak, delivering the product. It's required, it's professional, and frankly, it's the bare minimum. Any competent company on the planet operates in the first mile. It is purely transactional. But the second mile, that's what people will remember forever. It's the unexpected care, the extra little detail, the excellence that happens when nobody is even watching. This isn't about the transaction anymore. This is about the relationship. This is what builds unshakable trust. So what does this actually look like in the real world? It's the small, intentional stuff. It's not just installing the new thermostat, but taking 5 minutes to actually explain how it works. It's the technician who notices a loose vent cover, completely unrelated to the job, and just secures it. It's calling the next day simply to make sure everything is perfect. These are the moments that define an entire experience. And I want to be clear, this is not just some nice-to-have philosophy. Living in the second mile gives you a massive strategic advantage. In fact, it's one of the most effective growth strategies a company can possibly have. Let's just break down the benefits, because they really build on each other. It starts with 5-star reviews. Come on, people don't write reviews about basic competence. They review surprise and genuine care. That feeling of being protected, not just processed, turns customers into lifetime clients. And those lifetime clients, they become your #1 source of referrals. Because nobody talks about adequate service, but everyone talks about exceptional service. This creates a steady stream of demand that gives you pricing power, freeing you from that awful race to the bottom.
And the ultimate outcome? An incredible sense of internal pride. Your team knows they're different, and they carry themselves with that confidence.
So here's the bottom line. The second mile standard lets you increase revenue without spending a single extra dollar on advertising. You're organically turning your operational excellence into your most powerful marketing engine.
But when you really get down to it, this whole concept boils down to a question of identity. It goes way beyond just strategy and tactics. It's not really about what you do. It's about who you choose to be.
And this is probably the most powerful idea of all. The second mile isn't really about working harder. It's about making a conscious choice, a choice to not let your circumstances, whether it's market pressures, a difficult client, whatever, define your character or your standard of excellence. You define it. Period. So I'll just leave you with this question to think about. For your company, or heck, just for yourself, are you content with doing what is simply required? Or are you aiming to be the one who does what is truly remembered? The choice, just like in that ancient story, is entirely yours.